This is day 5 with my Wrap-A-Lot curls. And I'm actually not filming to talk about the Wrap-A-Lot curls. I actually wanted to talk about some things that I think are lock myths because of some questions I've been asked on Instagram and this article I saw in Essence magazine. The first thing that I believe is a myth is about how often you are allowed to wash locks. Essence magazine recently said that you should wash your hair something like every 4 to 6 weeks. I don't agree with that at all. It said because locks would untangle or something like that, it said. But I just want to say that I wash my hair as often as I need to wash my hair. I treat my locks like I did my loose natural hair. It is hair after all. I feel like there's this idea that once you lock your hair, it has transformed into this otherworldly thing that is no longer hair and you have to treat it completely differently. So for me, the smell of my hair is really important to me. And when I was working out pretty often, if I thought my hair had a funny like mildewy smell or something after sweating in it several times, I washed it after a week. I have consistently, in the 9 years that I've had locks, washed my hair every probably 2 weeks on average, but I've washed it as often as once a week and gone as long as maybe 3 to 4 weeks. 4 weeks only when I've been super busy and I've just not had time. I think with all loose natural hair or curly textured hair, you don't wash your hair every day because our hair kind of thrives on moisture and it's time consuming. So that would be a reason that you wouldn't wash it daily like other hair textures. But by no means is it required that you only wash your hair every 4 weeks or more often. Something else, when I was just locking my hair, my loctician told me to come back every 4 weeks and then she would retwist for me and wash and retwist, and she asked me not to wash in between when I started. So I told a friend of mine who had already had her locks for a year or so that I was going to go back in 4 weeks, and she's like, oh, your hair is never going to lock. Your hair can't lock if you wash it that often. 9 years later, clearly that's not true because her loctician told her to come back like every 3 months and she wasn't allowed to wash her hair for 3 months in between. So again, everybody has these things that are rules and they're not true. Your locks are hair. Another thing, my second myth or thing that I think is a myth is that you cannot retwist your hair very often. And I think that some people take that to an extreme. I've spoken before about how you can't prevent lock frizz. You can't. It comes no matter what product I've used. My hair does get frizzy, but I also, especially in previous years, couldn't stand having the frizz. I am getting more used to it now. But if I have someplace to go and I feel the need for my hair to look really tight, I do retwist my hair. I think the issue is thinking that you would like palm roll and twist everything with clips and sit under a dryer for hours and have it super tight. That I don't think would probably be good for your hair. But what I do, I'm sorry, my cat is in the way. What I do on a pretty regular basis, probably multiple times a week, I think is no different than regular grooming. And that is when I get frizz like this, what I hate about my frizz is that it sticks up high. I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to walk out my house like that today. And I just did a little retwist probably like 2 days ago. And I've done this consistently for 9 years. I don't think it's contributed to anything thinning in my hair, but I'm going to show you what I do. When I wake up, if I go into the bathroom and my hair is looking like what you might see here is not terrible. Again, from a distance, it looks perfectly twisted, I'm sure. But up close, you can see what I see. And if I want it to look fresher than that, especially this here, then I am going to retwist that. So before I get in the shower, I would spritz a little bit here. I twist that. I put a clip on it. And I would probably do that to these locks here and these locks here so that my entire head looks fresh. And again, me putting some water in my hair, rubbing it like this, clipping it and letting it air dry, a process that takes, by the time I get out of the shower, it's usually dry, or let's say by the time I'm ready to go to work, maybe 15 to 30 minutes has passed before I take these clips out. What is different between doing that and brushing your hair daily with loose hair. You lose tons of hair when you brush every day, you put product in, and you're grooming your hair. To me, that little thing that I did is equivalent to grooming my hair. It's not ultra tight, I'm not pulling, and I have not seen any thinning. If you look at my hair, my edges after 10 years are completely intact, although I do this kind of thing multiple times a week. What I have gotten used to is just sometimes, I mean, it was like every day, and now I've decided to like, just let it go. You're gonna be frizzy sometimes, and that's cool, but if I want it to look tight, I do this, and it hasn't caused any problems. So I guess what I just wanna say is that I think that that is grooming. No, I don't think it would be good to twist your hair super tight with the clips and heat with the, you know, the lock gel every day. I use water, and to me that is part of the grooming of my hair. And as you all have seen, my hair looks pretty healthy still, and this is with the color and all. That's part of my grooming, and I think that there's nothing wrong with it. Someone on Instagram said to me, "Oh, I hate the frizz in my hair, but I leave it alone because I don't want to have thin locks." And I'm just saying, if you do this little tiny baby grooming that I'm doing, which I feel like is no different than brushing your hair on a regular basis, that your locks will not thin, at least mine haven't, if you're doing this gentle type of touching up or gentle grooming, as I would call it. This is loose hair after all. Again, your hair, just because you locked it, didn't transform into this other thing that is so delicate and, you know, and yeah, delicate and breakable, or, you know, whatever. This is still the hair that grows out of your hair. How could water and doing this damage it? I'm not convinced, and maybe I wouldn't say this if I didn't have locks for nearly a decade, but I do, and I don't think it's caused any issues. 10 years from now, I'll post another video and let you know if I'm wrong, and if anyone else out there has similar experience, you know, comment about it. Let me know your thoughts or prove me wrong, because again, I say this all the time, I'm not a professional, I can only speak to what I do. And in nearly 10 years, it hasn't caused me any issues. So I say, groom gently, as needed. You don't have to use product every time, you don't have to use heat every time, and you don't have to twist your hair to the point that you are pulling at your scalp. So the last thing I will say is about thinning. I think I said this in my lock frizz video. The only thing that has ever caused me to see any damage to my hairline, or my hairline is the only place where I've seen any hair loss, is when I have done a style like a tight pinup, where, you know, noticeably like painful, and I'm tender-headed, but just something that was really tugging at my hair, and I tried to leave it in for multiple days. That kind of pulling has led to my hair being removed from the root. I have seen that for sure. But this clip for 20 minutes, I don't think it's going to do anything to my hair, and it hasn't. So groom away. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Talk to me. Have a great day. So here you can see a little water, and about 10 minutes later, I just retwisted the locks in the front and the locks down the center, and that's all. I'm going to let them air dry. I'm actually going to an appointment. I'll probably let them air dry in the car for a little bit and take it out as soon as I get there, and I'll be all set. And I think it looks a lot, you know, neater than it did a little bit earlier. And I'll take a picture once it's down to show you. But I do this kind of thing pretty regularly. Sometimes I let the frizz go. Sometimes I do this, and not my whole head, not too tight. And I'll let you see how close. Like, it's not pulling. I had the option, I could twist it like this tight where you actually could see like my scalp bulge. I don't do that. I just want this to be smooth, because it's about getting rid of the frizz, not like twisting, over twisting the hair. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'll post a pic in a little bit. It's my journey.